the other foot, left foot forward, left hand. Bring in the other hand as well. Would you like us to move with it, Hamid?
Go ahead.
So go forward and back in your own time. Is that enough?
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Chris, can you, thank you, Margot.
Yeah, sure.
Chris, would you do some standing up figure of eight, please? Where is Chris? Here you go. I'm going to pin you in.
So the vertical one. That one.
Yeah. Where is Ben? Here we go.
I'm going to do it with the left hand now, and the left foot forward. My right arm's aching.
Thank you, Chris. Let's get Caroline, where are you? Thanks, Chris. Caroline, I'm going to pin you now and pin out. Okay, can you do the front of your body?
Been swimming.
Yeah, or you go swim up. So bottom blue, top blue. And don't forget, you still wiggling your bottom.
The big fat donut. I don't think I'm doing it right, but I'm doing a big fat donut. A doubled. Maybe it's not a donut. Maybe it's something else. Very fat. Sorry, folks, I'm talking to myself.
So you go back of the hand together, bottom blue,
Bottom blue.
top blue. Bottom blue,
Top blue.
top blue.
And then hands go together back.
So here,
That's
this
it.
is the meeting point. The bottom blue, this is the meeting point.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Stop, Siri.
Okay.
Sorry.
I talked to my watch. Beam me up.
I got told off by it once because I said, go away. And he said, oh, I was quite upset. So I don't have it on anymore.
I don't want to hurt anybody's feeling.
Yeah.
Keep going, keep going. So it's a big loop in front of you. That's good.
Quite nice because it does feel like you're in water, doesn't it? When you do that, you almost feel like you're swimming. I think it's a bagel, not a donut.
Thank you. Thanks. Antoinette,
Thank you.
you want to do the next one? And you don't forget, you're going back and forth. So as you go forward, you draw the wheel up. As you go back, you go down. So be aware of space in front of you. This. Now we're going to draw the top wheel. The top wheel goes the opposite direction to the bottom loop. So that top wheel, again, you're going forward and back. And then when we combine them together, it looks like this. Bottom loop, top loop, bottom loop, top loop. If you don't have that motion of going forward and back, you will find this difficult. Carry on. And as you're doing it, then you can change your foot as well. Put the left foot forward. And start with the left foot. Don't forget the bottom loop, you draw a big loop. Caroline, the answer to your question, yes, there are spirals everywhere. So walking is a spiral. So you're picking up one foot. It's constant. Our movement, there's a lot of spirals in our movement. But what we're doing with the long form, we're putting extra bit of spirals that you put in your form, but later on, these spirals all disappear, hidden away into your body. So the press, we remember last week we started that, ward off, roll back, yield, and press, and yield, push, and push. In reality, when you start doing it, you don't even see this. It's all there. It's happening inside you.
And brush knee as well.
So with practice, this will go inside, you know. But it helps to soften your movement. But anyway, we go through all this in the practice and see how it goes. Okay, let's do some breathing exercises and we have a pause for 5 minutes. So we go breathe in and breathe out. So when you're breathing in, you drop your elbow and breathe out. As here, you're putting your arms up, the belly drops rather than going up. So remember, these are deep breathing exercises, abdominal. if you're not watching it, your belly goes, you're breathing in to your chest. And that's not what the intention is. Breathe in, the belly drops. Breathe out. So you got to be aware of what you're doing. It's conscious. Now breathe in. Let's do this together. So breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, interlace your fingers, and breathe out. Breathe in, and breathe out. I want you to make a habit every time you want to breathe in. When you're doing, first remember to breathe out. So you empty your lungs and you oxygenate your body. So breathe out first, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And then let's breathe out. Breathe out. Breathe in. Push to the left foot. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. So we can practice that if you, and let's do it again. I remember we also did this. This is single-handedly is one of the best exercises of Tai Chi. And I want you to pay attention to something here. Just stand up. Now I want you to think about the front of your head and the back of your head. I want you to be aware of the space between the front and the back. Space between the front of your head and the back of your head. By the way, there are research being done on it. And this kind of spatial awareness, it also contributes towards calmness and being calm. So be aware of that. Now be aware of your danjian and a point in the back mean back. And think about the space between the front of your belly and the back of your back. And you can apply this to any part of your body and including the space in front of you. So be aware of the lagoon point, the point in your palm of your hand, and that little space you created. And be aware of that space expanding and contracting. With your breathing, can coordinate that with your breathing. And Tulane was telling me something quite interesting last night. She said she feels this pulsation or this feeling between her palms. Yeah. That's quite interesting, actually. You know, it's not easy to learn about. This is something you have to experiment with.
It feels like something solid,
Say it again.
but sort of weird. Yeah.
So beware of space between the palm of your hand. Beware of the point in the palm of your hand.
Something physical. Yes.
So
Your
you
hands.
can do this in various parts of the form. So this, you just use as much energy to just diffuse the gravity, nothing more than that. So you use as much energy to diffuse the gravity. It's amazing when you start learning that and doing it. I did the long form yesterday in my garden. It normally takes about 15 minutes. It took half an hour. Because I was totally absorbed. And that time when you're doing this, the form is no longer matter. When I miss out something, it doesn't matter to me anymore. Because I'm focusing on this, using as much, as little as possible to go against the gravity. So be aware of that spatial awareness. You can achieve that by put your left foot forward. Pay attention to this ball is getting bigger as you're breathing in and smaller. But the point in your palm of your hand is still connected. We have this in Shivashi as well. You notice that? So that's one of your exercises. It's not about learning a pattern or form. Is try to find this space. A good example to start off between front and the back of your head. Immediately your mind goes in there and find that space. And then start working with your palm of your hands and putting movements in there.
You know this thing about the palm of your hands?
Yeah.
I've always got that as a kind of acquisitive thing.
Okay.
Especially with paintings.
Yeah. Wow.
So when I see a painting and I think, ooh, I could buy that, I get this tingling in my palms.
And they always, I don't know, that's superstitious, of course. They say when you have a tingle in your palms, you get money comes to you.
Oh, well, in my case, it's money going out.
Yeah, I must admit, I've never had that happen to me.
I tell you, it happens every time. When I get the tingle, I know I have to have it.
That's quite amazing. I remember doing a massage course. It was very short. I think it must have been it was a short course, but they we were kind of learning how to massage, and they were sort of saying, because you're massaging, that there is a kind of a release of some kind of energy between the person you're massaging and you, and the same as what Hamid does with the, with this pulsating. It's exactly the same. There's an energy, and therefore at the end of, the same as what Hamid does, at the end of the massage session, you had to, kind of clean yourself all off, because you're actually, in this case, you're cleaning off the client,
Wow.
the energy from the client. Yeah, it was quite interesting. And I could feel it, if I couldn't feel it, I wouldn't have understood it, but I could feel it.
So were you learning to massage?
Yeah, I didn't do it for very long. It was just kind of interest, it was a short course.
Do you know, I had Reiki once. Did you ever have Reiki?
Hamid did a master
course of it.
course in teaching Reiki.
Reiki number 2.
Wow.
he's-
Well, that's the
he's-
same kind of thing, isn't it? It's just energy from someone's hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. I thought it was, claptrap. I said, okay, I was in there for Pilates and I just said about my bad back. And she just put her hand there for ages. I tell you, it cured me.
Yeah.
Wow.
At least for that moment,
Mm.
it really, really eased it. So I guess I believe in it now.
Yeah, it is an energy, because it happened to me in a different form. I was doing Tai Chi and I don't know if it was while I was doing Tai, but in between I twisted my ankle. So when I came to the class, I said, I'm afraid I've got, my ankle's a bit weak. I twisted it. So I said, sit down on the bench, put your leg up. And he just sat there with both his hands on either side of my ankle, not touching it.
Mhm.
And I felt the heat. I don't
Wow.
totally cure it, but it certainly eased it, like
Mm.
when your
Wow.
that's what your blood does, isn't it? When you injured yourself, it immediately goes to that spot to try and heal you.
Short fall fast. So before we do it, I want you to be aware of that when you lifting your arms, just give it that much energy that diffuses the gravity, nothing more than that. Is there any part you want me to go through it again?
Just the whole.
Or if you're comfortable, we do it again, but this time I'm facing you.
Okay.
Any part you would like to be emphasizing?
Well, I'd like to do the bit immediately after my Fair Lady because I think I miss out a movement there.
Okay. In short form, it's much simpler after you're finishing your Fair Lady. In a long form, there are variations.
Mhm.
There's one called cup elbow horizontal split. There's one called pull and push. There's one called another one which is being repeated a couple of times, flat fist and cut, flat fist and cut. So this variation, moving from that direction to that direction, it's got this combination in there. In short form, we don't have that. It's just very simple. But I will go through it a couple of times now, and then if that's okay, I'll ask anybody else, any question, we go through that again. Okay, let's do that. So we're here, the right foot forward, okay? Pushing that, you turn your waist, bring your right toes with you, and the arms just drop and follow the body. So from here, and remember the left hand pushing, the right hand is yielding, is not for push. So you turn your waist, bring your right toes with your palms dropping. So you get to this place, look at my toes slightly inward. And then I bring my weight and sink into my right foot. Pick up my left foot, I take a step. Now if I turn my waist, adjust my right toes, I have a ward off left. And then I'm going to ward off right, roll back, press and push. Let's do it again. So here we go. We're here. Press into that corner. Turn your waist to the left, bring your right toes with you and the arms dropping. Now here, push down with the left hand, the right hand rises. Take a step. Remember, this is a mirror in the KLS. You take a step towards the mirror, ward off left. You take a step, ward off right, roll back, press, and push, and single whip.
Mhm.
Let's do it again. One more time.
Thank you. Mhm. So,
The final push, final Fair Lady. Left hand pushing, right hand does not push. So turn your waist to the left, bring your right toes with you, the both arms dropping parallel to the floor. When you got to this space and you want transferring the weight to the right foot, drop the left hand, the right hand floats up. So it's like that kind of thing. And now my weight is about 90% on the right foot. I turn around, and as I turn on my toes. I sink and relax. Then I'm taking a step towards the mirror. And then, you know the routine, ward off left, ward off right, roll back, press and push.
lovely. Thank
Did that
you.
help?
That's great. Thank you. Yeah.
Excellent. Anybody else? Place your hand below your navel. Breathe in, breathe out. And the palm of your hand, with the palm of your hand, feel your belly.
Can I just ask you a question?
Sure.
In the first, it's obviously the first part before you do the arms. You do something in the corner, and I can't see what it is. Just before you do the arms thing.
Which part of it? You have to take me through it.
You mean the punch under the elbow?
But it may be just before the arms. There's something I can't see.
You mean step back to the pulse monkey?
Yeah, just before that, yeah. I think
Just before, yeah, just before the arms, that you spread the arms out.
Okay, so we go, we're in that corner there, where the off roll back, press and push, single whip in that corner there. My arms are not doing it. I take a step, step, and then I turn my waist to the left. My wrist is coming up, hitting somebody's temple, and then I step forward. My left hand, the punch is like this. My right toes, my left toe is off the floor. The punch is the punch under the elbow in a short form. In a long form, the punch is like that. In the short form is like this. It's like hitting, lifting somebody's elbow up and exposing the body and hitting the rib cages. Yeah? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let's do this part. So we go ba-bam, ba-bam, ba-bam. We are here.
No, it's before, all right, it's before then. It's in the first part of the form.
Okay.
It's towards the end bit of the first part of the form before you do the, you know, this bit.
Okay, I'll go through it very quickly so you pinpoint where you want, because you don't know the name and there's so many things so I go step back to the pulse monkey from here. I go step back to the pulse monkey.
Before then, before that bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
so before that is here. Crossing your hands, drop the left hand, bring it up. So you got two ward off. The weight is on the left foot, pick up the right foot, step to the corner, push. Reach out with your left hand, roll back with your right hand, press,
Yeah.
and push.
Yeah.
Sink and relax, turn to the left, bring your right toes with you. The left hand is a play, your right hand is a beat. Now you turn your waist to the right, turn your waist to the left, send the hook out. Adjust your left toes, now step to that corner, there, one arrow, push. I don't do anything with my left hand, the hands are holding the space. I'll take a step, I'll take a step. And here at that point, I turn my waist to the left, my right wrist rises. And then with my left hand, my right hand stops. Become a fist, form a soft fist. My left hand comes up, I take a step, place my heel down. This is cupping the elbow, and this is punch under the elbow. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
and then here, I open up my arms.
That's it.
Step to the left, push. Open my arms, step to the right. I turn my waist, adjust the toes to become one arrow. I push with the palm of my left hand. My right hand is a fist on the corner. Then I open up. So it's open palms. So it's that. So if I go a couple times, it's this. Yeah?
Yeah, it's a bit in the corner, and I think because that corner is quite dark,
Yeah.
I can't see your
Okay,
movement.
so let's do it this way. So I go here, roll back, press and push, single whip, right? Step. His hands are holding the space. Step. Turn the waist. punch under the elbow. Open the palms, step, rush left knee and push, rush right knee and push, rush left knee and push, and then turn to the left, hold the ball, diagonal fly.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a punch under the elbows. Yeah, so thank you. Yeah.
All right, so let's do the form with a couple of spirals. Who's somebody left, I think. I think probably the Roy. Send a love to everybody. Thanks, Hamid. Okay, so Roy is gone. Okay, let's go. I face you. By the way, this is what you have to learn in long form. Lots of spiral, big spirals, and then we'll shrink it and make it into your, take it into your body. So here we go. Turn to the right. So you can see sinking to the right. Take a step, toes, heel down, shift away to the left foot, adjust the right toes and scoop. And there's little turning to the left foot and then settling the right foot. Sink and relax. And remember what I said, the palms of the hand sits on the elbow. And if you draw a line from your middle finger, it marries with your elbow here. So, and remember we talked about this, that if you punch with these two, you're fairly okay. With these two, you break your wrist. So, where are we now? So we're doing this. Sink and relax, energize the finger and sink with it. Now you turn, remember figure of 8, you turn to the left. The hands are doing that. And then you turn to the right. The hands are turning with it. You sink to the right foot, step, ward off left. So the couple of spirals here, I'm exaggerating. Go from beginning. Sink to the right. Step with the toes. Bring your heel down. Shift away to the left foot. And you want to go that way. But you sink to this foot and then go. So it's constantly going from yin to yang, from yang to yin. Now, figure of 8. Bring the weight to the left foot. Bring the weight to the right foot. Left hand protect the lower part, right hand is just here. Take, now, sink to the right, step with the left foot. Sink to the right. So you can see all those things, we were doing it all the time, we were aware of it. We were just making shapes, but now we're making allowances. Now I'm gonna go board off right. So sinking to my left foot, look, my palms are turning. My right palm is turning towards my body. My left palm, which is here, turning parallel to the floor. I take a step. Then I sink to the left, ward off. Roll back. Now we do yield to the right, yield to the left, and then as you yield to the left, your right hand becomes a ward off. And then you press against your wrist, but you press the right side of your body. So it's just making a spiral. And then you go yield, yield, push with the right, push with the left, bring the weight forward 70%. I remember when I was learning Tai Chi, when I was introduced to long form, I started, because I liked that so much, I used to do ward off, roll back, press, and push. And then I used to do Make a sound if you want, if that helps you. So you got ward off, roll back, press, and push. This is your solo practice, by the way. Let's do it again. From ward off left. Sink to the left foot. The palms are turning. Take a step, a wide step, so you finish up with one arrow. Sink to the left, ward off. Sink to the right a bit. Left hand drops. Shift away to the left foot. Make a circle. Press. That's what we normally do, right? So this time, as we're going from here, sink, ward off, roll back. Yield, yield. Palms are missing, the wrists are touching, and you press to the right, you turn to the left. Yield, yield, push and push 70% of the front foot. Again. And just this little bit you pass by it, you begin to understand the so it's not it projects itself as a really big yield to make you understand, but later on it goes inside, you don't even see it. So it becomes like other spirals that you do constantly when you don't see it, unless somebody brings it to your attention. Here we go, okay? Attention, preparation beginning. So you turn to the right, sink to the right foot. Take a step with your toes, bring your heel down, shift away to the back foot, shift away to the left foot, adjust your toes and scoop. And there's a little wiggle here. Scoop, wiggle, scoop, wiggle. And then breathe in, relax, energize the finger, and breathe out. And I was paying attention to this part, which I know Professor Cheng called the golden fair lady. You know, so when his teaching says hand and the arms stay same direction. So it's not that, it's not that, it's not that, it's just the same. And as we're doing this, we're coming up, we're relaxing the same direction, you energize, and as you go down, the same direction. As you come out, same direction, relax, energize, go down. Then, you want to do ward off left. Turn to the left, turn to the right, the left hand goes in the right place, the right hand along with your toes. Sink the way to the right foot. Take a step. Sink the way to the right foot, ward off. Now, sink, this is like, again, it's figure of 8. To the left foot, step, a ward off. Roll back, yield, yield. Watch my hip. It's all done by the pushing to the left and then yield, yield, push and push. So as I said, I started applying that in my short form when I started learning the long form. And I found it, when I was start teaching, I found it very, very difficult for me to take that bit out because I didn't want to show you any spirals, any directed spirals when I was teaching you, because it just would have been too much for you. But now you've been doing it long enough to do this again. So here we go. Ward off, roll back, yield to the right, yield to the left. The wrists are meeting, and wiggle, wiggle. As a sinking to the right, pushing to the left, you push to the left, and then yield, yield, push and push. So, of course, remember, Tai Chi is a martial art. Nobody goes to the war to fight, fist fight, saying, wait, 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 yield, yield, push, push. Hey, I'm ready now. That's not going to happen, you know. But it's just having the spirals inside you.
Sorry, let me just ask a question. So what you're saying is that the short form, the choreography of the short form stays the same, but what you're doing, you're introducing another element that you internalize and you don't see. Is that right?
Yeah. And that's this element that I am introducing at the moment. This is how we do the long form. I'm taking you slowly into a long form.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is the beginning of the long form, is exactly the same. Yeah, and when you start doing long form, then you have to go back to the short form, but not to worry about the spirals. Can you do that? It's hard work, but it's possible. I've done it. Yeah, so let's do it again, one more time. Heels together, close to the corner. Turn to the right. Step with your toes. Bring your heel down. Shift away to the left foot. Adjust the right toes. Scoop. The scoop and the little Yeah. Then sink. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Figure of eight. Bring your weight, turn to the left, turn to the right. And as you turn to the right hand and right toes moving together. Sink the weight to the right foot, take a step. Sink to the right foot or ward off. Step. Look, it's my steps. The spatial that I'm holding is quite big. But when I turn, it becomes wide out. Ward off. I sink a bit more to the right, drop left hand, roll back. And as this hand rises, I yield to the right, yield to the left. This now, if you look at it, this is a ward off. And I press with my wrist to my right side. And then that gives me an opportunity, yield, yield, push, push. I'm emphasizing here is not the arms doing it, it's the hip doing it. Push, push. So you have to be aware of that. And then turn to the right, sink, drop the arms, sink to the right, turn, similar, 1, 2, 3. There is a difference here, you step. On this one, remember we do this, you pull the toes in the short form. In a long form, we don't pull the toes, it's just there, we sink and you push. So this will remain more like a sitting on a horse. That's the difference between long form and short form. Let's do it again. Here we go. So sink and relax. Step. And a little wiggle. Figure of eight. Step, sink, ward off left. Figure of eight. Ward off right. Roll back. Yield, yield, push to the left, or right, beg your pardon. Yield, yield, push and push. Sink and relax. Sink to the right, more weight in the right foot, turn. Bring your toes as far as possible because they're needed for the next one. So, so you go press and push. Yeah. Sink to the right. Bring the right toes with you as far as possible. It's almost pointing to the mirror. Remember the mirror? And now I'm good. Here, press and push. Sink to the right, to the left. Step here, but here you don't adjust your right toes. You sink and you push along the left toes, push out. And then lifting arms, shoulder stroke. So sink to the right. Step with the toes, bring your heel down, shift away to left foot as you're adjusting. And sink. Attention, preparation beginning. Sink and relax. Energize your finger and let it fall. Sink to the left, to the right. Right toes turn to the corner. Take a step. Sink to the right. Ward off left. Turn to the left. It's a sinking more into the left foot. Palms are turning. Step. Ward off. Roll back. Yield. Yield. Push to the right, yield, yield, press and press. Sink to the right. Turn. And bring your right toes in as far as you can. Turn. Plate and beak to the right, to the left. Now, when I'm stepping here, I do not adjust my right toes. I sink and I push. I go down indeed. Then lifting arms. Remember where you're putting your foot? Lifting arms. And shoulder stroke. Let's do heart salutation and finish up for today, if that's okay. To the left, to the right, Yodan Jian. To the left, the front of you, front heart. To the right, the front heart. To the left, Yodan Jian. Send your heart up, bring it back. And turn your heart inside out, behind and beyond. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here.